Well, folks, it's time for the panel presented by Sport Chek. So we're on location at the Sport Chek store in West Edmonton Mall. Bob Stauffer, Jack Michaels, Chris Wescott here to talk about the Oilers. Guys, I think we'd be remiss if we don't start things off with Connor McDavid because he's been absolutely outstanding. Jujhar Khaira says after the win over the Islanders that most players in the NHL have a fifth gear. He takes it to 7, and not many people can do that. What have we seen from Connor so far?
It's almost obscene in terms of the physical gifts that he has, the explosion that he has, that quickness. It's electrifying to watch. And in spite of the fact that this has been an incredibly difficult campaign for the Edmonton Oilers, as Jack mentioned in a tweet today, I mean, we still got to watch Connor McDavid on a nightly basis. So 16 goals, 27 points over the course of the last 18 games. He finished last year like a house on fire with 25 points in the final 14 games. He's doing the same this year.
For me, what's starting to stick out is the sheer relentlessness of his attack. He just keeps coming. Islanders did a great job for 50 minutes. They slowly got worn down. Their defenseman makes a bad read with 2 minutes to go, and all it takes is the slight of mistakes, and it's going to end up in the back of your net. And Bob's right. I mean, McDavid has turned up the shooting volume. He's now inching his way into the top 10 in shots on goal. That's been the one criticism, I guess, of him over the first 3 years of his career. But just the relentlessness of his attack and his conditioning. I mean, the ability to play 27 and a half good minutes, not taking shifts off. There's no one in the league like that, and I don't think he gets enough credit because we're all mesmerized by the speed and the change of pace.
Okay, so we're mesmerized by McDavid, but this is not a lost season in terms of role players trying to find their rhythm and get going down the stretch. And you look for bright spots, and I look at Khaira, who I mentioned earlier, and, you know, he steps up for teammates, and then he calls his teammates family after the game, and he's also making the most of his opportunity, right, guys?
Well, and guys have to do that. I mean, I would say we're also seeing a little bit of transition with the leadership with the team. I think, first of all, I don't think you can import character and leadership. I think it has to come internally, and I think we all know that long term it's going to be Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Darnell Nurse. That's going to be the leadership core of the team, and I think we're starting to see that. But secondarily, in terms of what you're talking about, there is an opportunity. Some people think this is garbage time and you shouldn't read too much into it. The fact of the matter is this is an opportunity for a couple of veteran players, Milana Lucic and Andrej Sekera, to get their game rounded back up and to build upon for next season, and then for some young guys. You know, Pontus Aberg, who missed a couple shifts last night, got sat down a bit. Drake Caggiula, who responded in a fight with Max Domi. You know, there needs to be desperation with those guys moving forward so they can secure a spot moving here into the next season.
Khaira sticks out in particular because he's gone from a guy who was in and out of the lineup to a guy who then got a little PK time, who then got a little sugar time in the top 9, who then last night, you know, in the victory, ends up playing on the first line a couple of shifts, gets some power play time. This is a guy who's worked his way up, and ultimately that's what you want to see in a season like this, is players like Bob mentioned, not necessarily the rookies, or you're not just getting a look at guys like Ethan Bear, though he was impressive in the win over the Islanders as well, but you want to see those guys that are going to fill spots maybe 6 to 11 in your forward lineup and 4 to 6 in your defense lineup. Take that next step and embrace opportunity and push their minutes from 12 or 13 to 15 and 16 down the stretch and earn those minutes.
All right, Bob, Jack kind of mentioned it a little bit, Bear, though, but he's also a guy that Todd McLellan has said that if he's here, he's going to keep playing. And we've seen him get power play time. We saw him take on a lot of minutes against the Islanders, and he might be the best natural passer on the Oilers' back end right now. What are we seeing from him early on?
Offensively, like when he's got the puck, he's smart, and he makes decisive plays, and he gets, I mean, it's a pet peeve of mine. I hate it when defensemen reverse back. That is, he doesn't do that. He makes plays, gets the puck up the ice to the Oilers' skilled forwards, and frankly, they need more of that. Now, that said, I don't know if he stays here the rest of the year. I mean, I think he's going to end up seeing some time back in Bakersfield and maybe even a recall in April. We'll have to wait and see.
And the biggest name down the stretch that we haven't talked about to this point that I think is the most important moving forward is Cam Talbot. He's had a real solid month.
Todd said that after the game, too.
And if he can keep it up over the next 3 to 4 weeks, and I think he's going to get more starts than a lot of people believe. I mean, he's already started 32 of Edmonton's last 35 games. There's no point in this situation of taking the foot off the gas pedal either, because if he's truly your number one and he's truly a guy you want to play 65 to 70 games for the remainder of his career with the Edmonton Oilers. You need his game peaking going into the summer, like most players, so they're feeling good and they come back in the fall with a great deal of confidence, and confidence renewed that perhaps wasn't there 45 to 60 days ago.
Well, he certainly had a big game against the Islanders, 30 saves, stopped 2 of the 3 shooters in the shootout. Big game for Cam Talbot. These guys will have the call of Saturday's end to the 5-game homestand on the Oilers Radio Network, and I've got you covered on EdmontonOilers.com and Oilers TV.